This video is something of a tribute to Mother's Day, but Mother's Day is not inherently an isolated day. Um, a mother can't be a mother without a father, and parental account can't be without God's creation plan playing a part in uh, parental account. In 2024, on Father's Day, I made a point of how to address honor and how God joined a commandment together in a parental account by way of and to obey the commandment is to hold your parental account together by holding your marriage together. And the word "and" in honor thy father and mother is a command to generally make it uh, enabling for your offspring to honor you. And of course, the honor is a command that is expressed unconditionally. Um, it's not conditionally. If your father or mother is honorable, then honor them. Instead, God said so, so do it. As we rightly seek to give an account to God through Christ by way of the Holy Spirit, the account goes toward how to be one with God, how to answer the call of what it means to be one. And in answering that, it's quite clear that the God of the Old Testament is the God of the New Testament, and the God of the New Testament is the God of the current outreach. As you can see, I've opened up Psalm 120, verse 7, which is what I spent most of March addressing, this one verse in relation to uh, spousal and parental peace versus war that paralleled U.S. and Iran and Israel also. Um, I am Annie. Of course, that's again the pronunciation of my wife's name. Uh, M for peace, but just because I want peace doesn't mean I have peace. Um, because in theory, when you come over here, there's a whole nother consideration for how to find peace, and lands on a study that becomes um, how to understand Genesis 1 verse 11, whose seed is in itself. Who created you? Um, who do you look to define spousal and parental accounts? But Annie is divided on peace because they that look to procreate uh, find reasons to say that Annie is warring on on peace within marriage, peace within God, peace within um, spousal and parental account by way of God. And of course, here it's I am mom. So that's the parental account part of it. And in the meantime, there's a consideration of a speaker speller variation of MI1. Meanwhile, I've turned to Jeremiah 1 verse 11 because I lean into the very thing that Jeremiah responded to is the thing that I respond to. Uh, Yahweh asked Jeremiah, "What do you see?" And I believe in the God of the Old Testament is the God of the New Testament, and the God of the New Testament is the active outreach Holy Spirit that reaches to me and asks me, "What do I see?" What do I see when I look to the Holy Spirit and ask uh, if what is the difference between delusional grandeur comparative to a God that is big enough to even commune in the biggest of ways, even beyond the hugeness of Rod being a person and an object and an Old and New Testament context. Uh, um, what what do I see when I look to a map of Britannia? Um, what I see is essentially a new name came forward called England. This is colonization out of largely Germany into Britannia at a time that preceded England, but proceeded after Roman province of Britannia were essentially defeated and no longer ruled in even part of Britannia. As I look at it, I see my son's name united to my daughter's name, united to my wife's name. So my son's name is Brian, Brian. My daughter is incorporated to his name, being Tanye. Then my wife's name is Annie. Actually, I consider to always look to God's truth, which is in part that uh, the government shall be upon Christ's shoulders. And here, when you put the variation to a letter T into a symbol T, which is the cross, you could suggest that um, that becomes a part of Christ's ministry within of what it means to address within my son. Um, I and you and me, and we will be one, is the call to from Christ by way of the cross. And then take up your cross and follow me, and that includes oneness of sibling, oneness of united to his mother, oneness in united to what I believe to be um, a Britannia that came by way of Celt. The Celts were unified in language and people into the Britannia before Roman conquerors of the province of Britannia. So then, what does the A represent then? I dare fathom that an A can be beginning of a new outreach that emphasizes how to be one with God through Christ by way of spousal, parental, sibling, and ancestor. Because I say I have an ancestor that wrote this, being Brythonic Celt king back when, as received from God, a communion to write the name that reaches into the future. So a person could suggest, well, that A can be in addition to um, Tanya, in addition to uh, the A can represent first. And of course, first would be how to introduce my better half, which is my fourth child, and my third child, which is better half because it's very inclusionary. Um, as I introduce my better half of being my wife um, to uh, include a spousal and parental account that looks to God.